Jerome Wade.
Yeah.
Ms. Diefenbach, you've now had an opportunity
Yes.
to review thoroughly the pre-sentence
Yes.
investigation. Okay. Anything on behalf of the state?
Your Honor, this was originally, he pled back in October. He was released to go handle his matters up in Cuyahoga County, which he did. That was resolved in March of this year. We were originally set for sentencing in December. He did not appear. I think we had a date in January. He did not appear. We had a date 2 weeks ago. He did not appear. When he was sentenced in Cuyahoga on a reduced F3 robbery, he was placed on community control. And for some reason, they gave him until May 1st to turn himself into Warren County, did not execute the warrants we had out for him the multiple times he was in front of Cuyahoga County. He turned himself, or he presented himself to court services 2 days ago. I understand from defense counsel he has transportation issues. He certainly didn't have transportation issues when he came to Warren County to commit the first offense, which was the receiving stolen property. On that case, which is case ending 948, we are asking for $60.50 in restitution to Denisha Mapp. And then while he was in our jail on that case, he fashioned himself a weapon. It looks like he was put on pretty basic probation up in Cuyahoga County. Did not feel this case important over the last 5 months, important enough to bring himself here. We do not believe that he is amenable to supervision in this case, would ask that he serve a period of incarceration and be done with this county.
Thank you. Anything from probation? Ms. Diefenbach.
Your Honor, in all honesty, I've had more contact with this client than I've had with a client in years. I've always known where he was. I've always been able to contact him. I've had contact with his mother, and I've had contact with the attorney he had up in Cuyahoga County. And I know the times that we set up for him to turn himself in, he did have transportation problems. The transmission in his mother's car blew out, and the second time, the person that was supposed to bring him down, I think, wasn't able to. He has been very cooperative with me, and I've always known where he was, and he and I talked, and I said, look, you're going to have to turn yourself in. Just come down. And so I said, when you have a transportation, call me, let me know, and he did the other day, and actually I was down here and saw him as he was being taken, and I told him to turn himself into pretrial services, which he did, and then I saw him as he was leaving to be taken over to the jail. I've never had as much contact. I've always known where he was. It was just difficulty getting him down here. And if you read the report, you can see that he has some financial difficulties and a place to live. And I think that's all part of it. He's not that old. This isn't exactly serious. He could be his probation, if you grant him probation, it can be transferred up to Cuyahoga County and they can handle it. And I would ask that you go with the recommendation for basic probation. I don't see any reason for him to do some time down here. There's no reason for him to do time down here. No, I'm really serious when I say that. I've had more contact with him. He calls me, I called him. I haven't had that much cooperation from a client in a real long time.
Mr. Wade, is there anything you'd like to say?
I just would like to say that in the future, I have fixed my communication, transportation troubles. I have a close family member that stays in Columbus that came and actually picked me up from Cleveland and brought me back down here. So I have, I'll be able to, anytime, if I have to come down here, I will be able to make it down here on time, moving forward from now on.
Well, you don't have the greatest track record of that so far. I mean, we should have been doing this. You should have been well on your way with this case, and here we are 4 months into it, and you've missed several court appearances. I mean, I understand that you have transportation issues. I understand that, but this needed to be a priority, and it doesn't really seem to be a priority to me, from my perspective. the other thing I want to ask you about, let's talk about these charges out of Cuyahoga County. When did you pick up those charges? When did that event occur?
The event occurred August 8th. I was charged with it August 13th.
So you were charged with that on August 13th,
Correct.
2025, correct?
Correct.
And after you were charged with that, you come down here on August, 2 days later, after you're charged with that, and commit this offense. True?
True.
Why?
It was, so when I originally caught the charge, I was unaware that I had the charge. That was my first, I was just unaware that I had the charge.
Which charge you talking about?
The aggravated robbery
Okay.
and out in Cuyahoga. I was unaware of that. And then when I came down here,
Well, you were there, weren't you? I mean, you pled guilty to a robbery charge. You were there when that happened. I know what a robbery is. I don't know what happened in that case, but I know what a robbery is. It means you took something of value from someone, from their person, right?
right,
Tell me what happened in that case.
and the aggressor in this situation was, in that case, was my co-defendant, and there wasn't only evidence they had on me was my vehicle, my license plates being there at the scene.
Tell me what happened during that robbery. Tell me what happened. When from your perspective, tell me what
From
happened.
my perspective, I was just a driver. I don't know anything that happened outside of the vehicle.
And in what way, what was stolen from this person?
It was currency stolen from me.
Money was stolen. Was there a gun or a knife used?
No.
I mean, you were originally charged with an aggravated robbery in F1. Obviously, you got a great deal there and pled to an F3, a robbery. So, was there a weapon used in this robbery? I'm guessing that there was with the original charge.
Yes.
All right. And who is this co-defendant? What is his relationship to you?
He was my childhood friend.
Okay.
He was
Wow.
just a childhood friend that
I would say that you're very fortunate that you got off with just a robbery in that case, because if you were the getaway driver, you're as guilty as he is under the law.
Right.
Wow. You got a great break there, I would say. Don't you think? But now it concerns me that's happened, and you were charged up there in Cleveland, then you come down here and commit this offense.
I was pulled over and was found with the stolen items.
Right, and this is just days after you committed an aggravated robbery in Cleveland, and then while you're in our jail on this charge, you pick up yet another charge. What's the purpose of having a weapon in our jail?
There's no purpose. Just made a bad decision.
Do you kind of see what I'm talking about here? Do you see from my perspective how this looks?
Yes.
And then on top of all that, when did I guess you were sentenced in March 9th in Cleveland, in Cuyahoga, correct?
Correct.
You're a high school graduate?
Right.
Some college?
Intended on going back after I handed my.
What's going on with your driver's license?
Working on that. I just.
Tell me, why is it suspended? What's going on with why don't you have a driver's license?
I just never went and got my driver's license.
You've never had a driver's license?
Yes. And
Okay, that's a legitimate answer. I didn't know if it had been, you'd gotten it when you were 16, like most, and then you got it suspended. That's not the case, you just never gotten it.
Correct.
Okay, that's a legitimate answer. But you're not working anywhere, why not?
At the moment, but before I came here, I was working. I
Okay.
work at JSM Catering. It's a family business I have, and I cook for my dad.
So what's your plan moving forward? Mr.
to
Wade?
continue pursuing my cooking and music career. I already applied to Tri-C Community College. It's 15 minutes away from where I stay.
So you want to be a chef?
Yes,
Okay.
along with a musician as well.
Okay, you have a talent in music?
Yes, I graduated Cleveland School of the Arts,
What instrument do you play?
the bass. I'm a bassist.
Okay. Mr. Wade, you come across as a very, how do I say this? A smart kid. And maybe you're just hanging out with the wrong people. I don't know. But I was prepared today to either just send you to prison and be done with it, or to let you serve some 6 months in our jail and be done with it. But I'm not so sure I want to do that right now. Here's what I'm going to do. I am going to find today that you are amenable to community control, because I believe that you are. You've got to make some better choices in your life, but I think that you can. Okay? So, number one, I'm going to place you into community control for a period of 3 years. Okay? Now, I know that you live in Cleveland, and I think we'll look to transfer your day-to-day supervision to Cleveland. Folks, if you just give me just a few minutes here, and I'll wrap this up, okay? Your day-to-day supervision will be in Cuyahoga County, but you have to understand that ultimately you're still responsible and answerable to the Warren County Probation Department. Do you understand me?
Yes, Your Honor.
I am ordering you to refrain from the use of any drugs, alcohol, or marijuana. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're too young to drink, you're too young to smoke marijuana. You're not allowed to do it, period. Okay?
I understand.
Now, it's because you never got the assessment, so I don't know if you need any type of treatment or not. What I'm going to do is, today I'm going to hold you in our Warren County Jail, and I'm going to order the assessment completed. So I'm going to get an assessment from Talbot House. They'll do a drug and alcohol and a mental health assessment, and then you are ordered to follow any recommendations of that assessment. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'm also ordering you to get your operator's license, get a valid operator's license, and you're to obtain and maintain full-time verifiable employment. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand when I say verifiable? I mean, you're not going to get paid under the table from your brother or your dad or whatever. You're going to get a real job, and if it's from your dad, that's okay, but he's got to issue you a paycheck and withhold taxes. You're going to pay taxes like everybody else.
Yeah, okay.
Okay? Okay, so full-time employment, valid operator's license, follow the recommendations of the assessment. You have 50 days jail time credit on this case so far. Does that sound about right?
Correct.
All right, the court finds that you're indigent for the purpose of any fines, costs, or other financial sanctions.